Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. This week, World of Tanks Modern Armor are running a special event, Elite 8s, and as the name suggests, it is limited to Tier 8 tanks only, excluding artillery. It is a 7v7 team destruction mode where you try to place as high as you can in the team as you earn points based on that. And based on your points, the more points you have, you can unlock more rewards. For myself, primarily, I'm trying to get all three war chests, which I have already. So maybe I might get lucky in getting a tank out of those war chests. The mode in general, it is fun. The tasks are quick to do. And in this video, we'll be discussing what tanks I prefer to finish this mode quickly. And as you can see in the first video, my first go-to tank is 703 to black. The tank was available at a 50% discount when it was sold. So some of you might already have this tank. And because most of the maps are, in fact, every map that is available in this mode, it is a small map. So in general, all heavy tanks are more playable, and because you have more armor and more HP, you can impact the game more heavily, as mobility is not really an issue, as most of the fights are just head-on. So I found the heavy tanks, just because of the opportunity to play them, much more enjoyable as well as more effective as well. Of course, it comes to your playstyle, and you can, as long as you're enjoying in any tank, it doesn't matter. These are the tanks I enjoyed more, as I can't really enjoy tier 10 heavies, especially in random battles, because they struggle against tier 9 or 10 more than the mediums or not. But I do believe strongly that the heavies are much more impactful, especially if you want to speed run it and win it quickly, especially the tanks that have high alpha. So in the case of 703 black, as you can see, I have a dual barrel, so it does have that unique mechanic of firing either left gun or right or both at the same time. So I'll always win the trades, and I'm always reloading. Luckily, this was also one of the dual barrel tanks that did not get nerfed like tier 9 or 10. Even the tech tree version didn't get nerfed, and so is this one. So you can also play the tech tree version if you really want, unless you don't have this tank. But as I said, you will always win in trades. The tank has good mobility, as well as you can fire single shot and maintain that DPM as well. The tank obviously has way better effective DPM. So if you start an engagement with a tank, you'll come out on top because of how this dual barrel system works. So definitely a solid tank that I would recommend if you have it, to play in this mode and finish in top position. As I mentioned earlier, you get more points the higher you finish. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. If you're first, you get 6 points. If you're second, you get 5. If you get 3, you get 4. And if you're 6, you get 1. 7th person doesn't get any point. But again, because this event isn't tied to win or loss, you will always earn points. So let's move on to the second tank that I prefer, and it is Chrysler K. This tank has been given away multiple times, so if you have been playing this game for a while, you should probably have this tank. And it was recently buffed as well. One of the things that was buffed was the HP. The tank is mobile enough from the beginning, and now it's even better. The gun is solid, good accuracy. Standard pen is a little limited, but because you're fighting tier 8s only, you have enough pen to pen them reliably. They can pen your lower plate as well, but if you're charging towards them and they can only see your upper hull, it is difficult for them to pen. But just because how mobile this tank feels, I enjoy playing this tank, as well as I said, most of the maps, they're small maps, and this tank, even though it is rear mounted, it is a different playstyle from 703. But I can just push towards the enemy head on, and I will win most of the engagement because it is very difficult to pen this tank when it's just charging. It is not impenetrable, as you will see, but yeah, the battle started airfield, just push up and over. Patriot got spotted, and as you can see, it has solid DPM as well. So penned him twice. Patriot, I was actually surprised that he penned me. He did though, to my lower plate. Penned me again, but yeah, I was able to quickly take him out of the game with my teammate. And as I said, it is a mobility, feels really good, so I don't feel like sluggish like some of the other tanks. And notice there was one tank just sitting by itself, so just pushed him as well. It does have above average HP as well, as most of the tier 8s you have 1500 HP. I was also thinking to place a lot more slower tanks like VK100 or Oho, but didn't really play them as they were going to be a little bit too slow. And I wanted to finish the mode as quickly as possible, and that's where Chrysler K came in handy. It is fast. I can quickly get to the battle and quickly do damage, dominate. And a good thing about this tank is it is also very difficult for the BZs to pen this tank because they have low pen. And if you're angled enough, as in this case, he just bounced off me. They have limited pen. They can pen you if your lower plate is like very exposed, but it is difficult for BZs to pen you though. And just provide a different playstyle, as a lot of the maps are also flat like Himmelsdorf. This tank is just comes into a very effective situation. Other tanks or other maps that are available in this mode are Ghost Town, again a flat map or have a lot of flat areas, Port, Airfield, Cliff, White Park, Berlin, Himmelsdorf, and Mainz. And all these tanks, they are corridor-ish maps and reliable for heavy tanks. I even played light tanks to kind of test it out early on, but light tanks were just not effective as the battle doesn't last that long, as everyone just wants to fight. It is a team destruction. And in a lot of the maps, you just spawn very close to each other. 3400 damage, they do have 2 tanks alive, and as you saw that Pantera, especially if the enemy is in fire premium, it is difficult for them to penetrate the Chrysler. Ment is going trying for a circle. He did realize that he can't pen me. However, because I was in an awkward position, he was able to get a shot on my lower plate. Same mistake again, the Loe. He has solid gun and good gun depression. He can hit my lower plate, so decided to back up here, as I do know that it is just very mobile going backward and forward. Perma dragged him. I could do the same thing like the damage I did in standard shells as well for more or less, but I just had premium loaded from the last time I played. Still a decent result, 4700 damage. I could have played a little safer as well, but as I said, the mode is just for, it's a stress-free mode, as first of all the stats doesn't matter at all, so that's why less stress and you're not losing your MOE progress. So I just don't really care about preserving HP or anything. I just push towards the enemy, and that's what these tanks help me to do without being punished too much. So moving on to our third tank, or my third go-to tank, it is this season's ultimate season pass tank, BZ-176. The tank does have solid armor, 10 degrees of gun depression, as well as high alpha, not to mention the rocket boosters. So I can get to position, and always I will win the trades, and if they don't know where to shoot, they can also bounce off me quite often than not. Again, it is pennable, it is not immune, but in these maps, lot of it comes down to trading as well at times. So 703, as I said, had a dual barrel option where you can get a very high alpha. Similarly, this tank has 800 alpha as well as a high HE gun. 600 alpha on AP and 800 alpha on HE. So even if someone's like side scraping or lightly armored, you can just do serious damage to them and probably set them on fire, as the tank does have a high module damage as well. So in Himmelsdorf, just pushing forward, Astron Rex seemed a little confident, peeked sideways, and lost close to half of his health. Tiger 2 is our next target. He's side scraping, and thanks to the smoke, I couldn't really see. I still don't understand why we have the smoke in the game, but that's a different video. That's a different topic. He did pen me this time. I did over angled a little bit. Some of these tanks, as I said, like Loe and Tiger 2, they have very, very solid pens, especially when they're using premium rounds, so have to be careful. Iron Rain pushing forward, finishing Astron Rex, and using that opportunity to help the Iron Raid. Poor aim from me. I don't know what I was going for, but I didn't aim at the lower plate and didn't really aim at the side, and hence ended up hitting the upper plate and bouncing. Waiting for things or game to unfold or them to overcommit. They do have 2 tanks up on the hill, and that means that we have advantage over on the lower ground, as they have 2 tanks out of the game, even though we're losing by 1. And the Tiger 2 came forward, put a shot into him, and just waiting for reload. I can also switch to HE to finish it off. But do let me know in comments, what do you think about this mode? We are slowly moving towards ranked, but it isn't really ranked yet, as you don't go down a level, as well as the rewards are not as good as it was in ranked, even though, yeah, you get war chests as well as special camo as well. So the thing about this mode is you can finish it quickly. But yeah, do let me know what you think about the mode though. Are you happy with the silver, the map selection? Not to mention, you can also earn or buy tier 8 tanks for silver, as tanks for silver is on, and there are 8 tanks, if I'm not mistaken, that are available for 50 million. So if you have that extra silver laying around that you don't know what to spend it on, you can buy tier 8 Skoda T56, T44 E1 US light tank, T42 US light tank, Defender, Guardian STG, Hawk 30, Iron Rain, General, and Vanguard ELC even. And since these are premium tanks, 50 million could be a little bit higher side if you are new to the game. There is also a gold option, but in my mind, silver is just a better option because it's a farmable currency in game. And if you have it, you can get one of these tanks, especially if you really like the ones that are available. Not to mention, you can also like sell a tank or your tech tree tank and then buy these guys, and then you can slowly buy the other tanks if you don't have 50 million in handy, or sell those extra commanders that you will never use. So I already had all of these tanks, but I did buy some of the tanks last time when the tanks were available for silver. If I bought a tier 9 from what I recall. So yeah, don't forget about that either, the tanks for silver. And I do wish we kind of move more towards ranked, as we are slowly getting there, just not there yet. It went from we will never get ranked back to we might get something similar. They do allow platoons in this mode as well, but I do think when ranked come back, if it does, they have to remove the platoon option, because you can go up and down, and it can be really one-sided if you're playing in platoon. And that could be the reason you don't drop or lose points, because it is point-based system rather than a level system where you go up and down. So 1v3, 2500 damage, and thankfully, because it's team destruction, I don't have to worry about getting capped out. So going in position to just back up and hide. And also, do let me know in comments, which tank are you using for this mode? Which tanks have worked for you? Because I was talking to some people, and for some people, they're playing mediums that they have. Of course, you can only play the tanks you have, right? You can't go out of the way to play a tank that you don't have. And some mediums work well for them depending on the playstyle. And there could be other tanks that even work better, right? But these are the three, the 7032, Chrysler K, and BZ176 that helped me finish this event quickly. I was able to get all 3 war chests, and unfortunately all I got was 50 gold out of those 3. I wasn't lucky at all, as expected. The tank drop rate is low, but I still did not want to miss out on these war chests or Viper war chests, as they are still easier to earn than what we used to earn with long haul, but long haul had better rewards. But nonetheless though, hopefully it improves over time. And if you haven't actually answered the poll for what you're feeling about the war chest, make sure to I'll pin it in comment as well. Make sure to answer that poll so we get an idea of what player prefers. I prefer the old war chest we had, but with the poll we can know what percentage of people at least prefer the new ones, if they do. So the 2 tanks, they are in platoon, they're pushing forward. Penned the E5 once when he was coming in, and pen him again. Unfortunately, low roll. He is penning my lower plate though. The other tank is full health, healthy, missed his shot. And switching to HE to make sure I kill that guy. Didn't want to waste my shot on him though, but I have to kill him. And then I realized it's an I6 black, doesn't have the greatest pen, and he has missed 2 of his shots as well. So I was pretty confident at this point that I can just kill this tank. Unfortunate for me, he switched to HE though, as I was low on health and did end up doing some damage. Since the first shot wasn't that great, right? I'll survive. But unfortunately, I wasn't lucky the second time. So yeah, that is it for today. Do let me know in comments what you think about the mode and your go-to tanks, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, guys.